Warning: the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to another UK sim review. Today we're going to have a look at the Huddersfield Line by Dovetail Games. This route covers the line between Manchester Victoria and Leeds, which is around 43 miles in length. In the pack, in typical Dovetail Games fashion, you get rolling stock with the route. You get a class 158. You also get the class 142, you get a class 47, class 03, class 08, Mark 2 coaches, Mark 1 coaches, TA tankers, and a few other things, which is kind of the elephant in the room if we talk about what it is that we're getting. So, as you can see around Manchester Victoria that we see in Train Simulator is a very modern rendition of Victoria. In fact, let me just rewind a little bit. Out of every station, I've probably spent most of my time at Manchester Victoria because I used to work in Manchester. I'm on the Calderdale line. I know it extremely well. I live and was brought up in the area, so I know Manchester really well. The Manchester Victoria that we've got in the Huddersfield lines is anywhere from probably 5 years ago to now. So if you look around it, there are 3 platforms for the Metrolink. That only happened about 5 or 6 years ago. Originally it was 2 platforms. There is the curving roof on that side of the station. It used to be some old peak ones. So it's a modern version of Victoria. The rolling stock we've got is in Dovetail Games wording includes a selection of privatisation era 1990s rolling stock, because it's regional railways, it's British Rail B or Blue, so potentially it could be even earlier than 1990s. So I don't understand why you would create a route that is to modern day standards but then give you rolling stock from 30 years ago. It might be a licensing issue. I don't know. There's other things that they could have done rather than the way that they've done it. So for me, that's a massive elephant in the room. You're either going to have something like the Woodhead route that's factually accurate to when that was built and the rolling stock in question, or you're going to have a modern route with modern locomotives. That is a big negative for me about the pack. But if we park to that one side, let's have a chat about the route, because obviously the route's got quite a lot of potential. And for me, I bought it because it's the second nearest line to me. I'm a local person, it just drew me in. So obviously it was Calderdale Line, I'd purchase it anyway, but Manchester Victoria's part for me. I know Ashton, I know Staley Bridge, I'm very local, so yeah, I purchased it. The route itself, there's bits missing. So if you see here, if you know round the city of Manchester Stadium, what is that junction there? It looks nothing like that. Obviously they've got the Hadfields truck depot there, which is accurate. It's not Hadfields, but it's a truck depot. But that section of sort of roadway looks nothing like that. It doesn't even make any sense how it's patched together. And I think that's the problem with this route. There's a lot of detail that missing. So, you know, it feels like Manchester. You kind of know where you are, so you can see the gas tower there. It's missing a massive landmark behind it, which is the City of Manchester Stadium. You know, but anyway, so you're missing that sort of key landmark there, but it does look and feel like the area. So you should have Brunswick Mill just behind the gas tower, and yeah, other things like that. Also, the centre of Manchester is missing the new co-op building and other things like that. But it does feel like the area. If you showed somebody this in Train Simulator who'd never been to Manchester and then took them to Manchester Victoria, they would recognise Manchester Victoria. So I think from that aspect, it encapsulates the area, if we word it that way. You do get the depot, which is a little bit further up. The name of the area is completely bypassed my brain for a reason, but if you know the area, that bit where there is the new industrial estate on the left hand side is where the police headquarters is, and where the tram goes over the line, that's mapped and built really, really well. So there is parts where the attention to detail has been done extremely well, and then there's parts where the attention to detail it's really poor. You know, there's bits of like trackside stuff where there's gaps in walls, there's floating trees, and for, you know, a paid route which is costing you £25, it should be a lot better in parts. Again, the Leeds end, Leeds station looks amazing. Bits around Leeds is really, really good, and then you get in the middle bit, kind of around Greenfield and Marsden and that lot, and it's bad. It's as though somebody else has built the middle bit, and that also comes onto like the track. So, you know, it's got super elevation, and you know, it again feels like the area, but how some of the track is laid out, it kind of like does a corner and straightens out, then does the same corner again, then straightens out, and then corner again. It's almost gone back 20 years to Microsoft Train Simulator, the way that they've laid the track out, rather than these long, flowing, sweeping curves that there are. It's a bit bonkers, because parts of it's really, really good. Also, let's talk about the M60, okay? So this is DTG's attempt at putting in the main Manchester orbital motorway, which in parts, in reality, is a sweeping, flowing, 4-lane each direction motorway with a hard shoulder. So that's 10 lanes. So why don't we just stop here and have a look at what other ones have done? So here's a snippet from Chatmos, which is put in the M60, and you can see it looks really good. And also here's a snippet from Hope Valley, which this bridge in Hope Valley is literally only 1 or 2 miles further up the M60 from where that part of this route is, and as you can see, it looks completely different. Other main landmark things are around things like IKEA in Ashton, which is a massive big blue box, and obviously you can't put it for copyright, but they could put a massive big blue box there rather than a car park. So yeah, it's very much a dilemma here, that you can tell the route that it is, and if this came out 5 years ago maybe, I think everybody would be very accepting of this. But if you then compare this against the releases by Just Trains for Hope Valley and Midland Main Line, and things like Chat Moss by Alan Thompson Sim, then this almost feels like a freeware route in comparison to the quality of these other routes that are So the question is, should you buy it? I would say if it's on sale, absolutely yes. If it's not on sale, it's a difficult purchase because, you know, I want something to work out of the box. I don't want to have to install other scenarios and start route modding and all this kind of stuff. And out of the box, it doesn't feel right because the locos are wrong and the quality of the route is not there. So I think the choice is yours. I think if you live in the area and are, you know, like me, fond of the area and want to drive it, then you're going to buy it. I think until, you know, maybe it's patched and fixed in parts, then I would hold off. So that's me. Thank you very much again for watching. I really appreciate your time, and we'll be back with another review very, very shortly.